G'day super friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have an up close and personal look at the 1/9 scale Justice League Batman action figure from FondJoy. Apparently these guys are actually fully licensed, so they're not just, knockoffs or third-party bootlegs. Fantastic box art, by the way. I really like what they did with the front of this box. This is a fantastic image of the figure right on the front there. On the side, we have Batman 1/9 scale, and then on the back, we have an image of the figure with all of the accessories, and we have another one in a posture, and then we just have the basic image on the back of the box. Down here is a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know how to read, and if you're 0 to 3, sorry buddy, this ain't for you. Okay, so it's got a cool little magnet that holds this box closed. That's neat. So let's open it up, and then on the inside we see the figure. And it comes looking like Han Solo. And this is the basic version. There were two versions of this. There's one that comes with a Bruce Wayne head sculpt and one that doesn't. I got the one that doesn't. I just wanted the basic figure. Okay, let's stand him back here because there's another layer of stuff on the bottom here. This is the other stuff that he comes with. And this is packaged so well. And even though this is just the basic one, it still comes with a bunch of accessories. It just doesn't come with the extra head. So we have the FondJoy Batman figure base. We have a clampy arm, a spring-loaded clampy arm. Let's see, it can clampity clamp that way, twist around that way, clampity clamp, and the arm just fits nicely, snugly into the base. Got to snap it in there, and yep, that's nice and tight. So there is the action figure base, and he also comes with a bat grapple, 2 more sets of interchangeable hands, and 2 batarangs. Here's a close of the bat grapple from this side, and here's a nice close-up of the bat grapple from the other side. Not a bad little accessory. I've seen these done just a tad better, but all in all, this isn't bad at all. This is pretty good. And here is a close-up of what one of the batarangs look like. They both look the same as this. Add on top of that the Batman figure, and this is the sum total of everything that we got in the box laid out before us. So I put on gloves just to keep the figure cleaner for the rest of the video, because I really want to keep this figure looking really spanking nice. So what we have here, we have a cape that is a wired cape. Let's start right with the cape. Now, is it cool that it's wired? Definitely cool. Does the cape really have much capabilities? No pun intended. A little bit, but not super, not a lot, not a really lot. And then you have these creases down each corner, each side of the cape. You have a crease here, and we have a crease here, down this side of the cape. And that is, I'm assuming, for folding your cape up like that and having it look nicer. The actual texture of the figure seems quite accurate, at least for an action figure, to that of Batman's suit that he was wearing in the Justice League. And I like all this fine detail along his back. Like, I wasn't even aware that these details existed. You can even see, if I'm correct, that's the zipper up his back. And I like all these nitty-gritty details where we can see how the suit has been pieced together with these stitch lines, as well as the texture of the suit. The Bat logo on his chest looks pretty much like it does in the movie. I mean, I don't know if all of the nicks and scratches are exactly accurate, but it certainly looks very movie-esque as far as I'm concerned. Same thing with the abs area. He had these little platelets in the abdomen area of his suit. He has the accurate shoulder piece here, that little shape there on the shoulder. Going down the arms, we have what I believe are accurate gauntlets. I don't think that these are inaccurate, so yeah, that's very cool. For these gauntlets, we can also see that I think the fists are pretty accurate as well. Batman's belt looks, as accurate as I've ever seen it. We have the black and we have the gold, which is accurate to the movie. It wasn't completely gold. It did have black on it like this, so that's pretty awesome. The boots look altogether pretty good too. I like that. And they have the gold steel caps on the end of his boots there. Fantastic job. And the overall proportions of Batman's body, they seem pretty good. Let me just lower the camera just a little bit to give you a bit more of an accurate look here. Yeah, I mean, they seem pretty good as far as body proportions go. Legs and arms and everything seems all right. The head sculpt looks pretty good too. That looks pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, like Ben Affleck's Batman cowl looked in the movie. Like the brow, like how the eyes have been painted on this figure. Looks really neat. He's got the bottom of Ben Affleck's face. I see Ben Affleck here. I think that they did a pretty good job of capturing the look of his Batman facial features and cowl. Now, for those of you who are looking for a comparison side by side with FondJoy's original Batman figure that they made based on Batman v Superman, we can tell here that I don't think that they've really used all that many parts, if any. I mean, the belt sculpt may be reused. That looks like it could be a thing. Yeah, you know what? Rather than just go through it all, I'm just going to call it, and I'm just going to say that these figures are actually, they're different. And even the boots. You might look at the boots and think they're the same. They're not. Where I think that this Batman shines a little bit brighter than the Batman v Superman version is that the head sculpt is actually a little bit more in scale with the new one than it was with the previous one. And oddly enough, I feel like this Batman figure actually scales way better with the McFarlane Superman figure than McFarlane's Batman does. Okay, so we know that this figure looks good, but what we don't know currently is how posable it is. So let's actually put it through the posability gamut, shall we? We're going to start with Batman's noodle, and that is the sum total of the bubble. The bubble that he gets with his head. Looking up about that, looking down about that. In the torso, we have a rounded ball joint, what I can assume, and that actually gives a really good amount of forward motion, and when I combine it with the waist, a really nice amount of back motion. So forward with the waist. Oh, good. Yeah, that's not bad. And then back with the waist. And just having a peek on the inside here, yeah, we can see that it is a rounded ball joint. That's where it goes back together. We'll just pop it back together. No harm, no foul. And then his arms are attached with rounded ball pegs. They've also got this socket I just put back in there. So we are going to put his arm back on, and we are going to test what we can get out of him. We got ourselves a T-pose. That's what he's capable of, like that. You will be able to get all the way around motion. He's got a bicep swivel that I'm assuming will be 360, which it is. We have some double jointed elbows, and I'm always interested to see how these, well, that was not what I was expecting. I'm going to be honest. I was expecting a little bit more from Batsy here. I thought that I was going to get just a little bit more elbow action. In the wrist here, we have a rounded hinge, down, up, like that, and all around. His legs are attached by way of rounded ball joints right here, as you can see, and they are also drop hinges, as you can also see, which is nice. I like good drop hinges. They make it so that you can give your figure that extra little bit of posability, which means we can count on Batman's legs to go out that far. He can do the splitty splatties. What can he do this way? That's what he can do that way, and the reverse about that. Although you really don't want these drop hinges completely out all the time. You want to try to conceal them as much as you can and only pull them out when you really need them, because sometimes in a pose they will just look horrendous. They'll just look ugly. So, you know, use them when you need them, but I would say use them sparingly. The double jointedness of Batman's knees gives us that. That's how much they can crunch up. Oh, and I forgot to check. Yeah, that's how much roundy round he has. You know, the approximation of a thigh cut. This is not much better than the best McFarlane ones. Oh, yeah. So not super great. And the ankle has what I believe is a rounded ball joint down in there. I don't think that that's a hinge. I think that that's just a ball joint in the ankle and a ball joint up in the leg there. And he has the toe articulation. And his arm fell off. Freaking brilliant. And just to reiterate, the cape has almost nigh posability. There's really not a lot you can do with this cape. The wire isn't strong enough. I'm sure you could feed another wire in there, but out of the box, the wire in this cape is pretty much useless. Okay, so now what do I think about this FondJoy Justice League Ben Affleck Batman action figure? Is it good or is it garbage? Well, visually, I gotta say, this thing ticks every box for me. It looks like Ben Affleck as far as I'm concerned. The scale is good enough for me. I love the finish of the bat suit. I love the matte gray for the bodysuit, and yet the cowl and the gauntlets and the boots have their own finish. I think that that's fantastic. I like the fact that the texture of the suit is just so good. They did such a good job digitally molding this thing before they sent it off to be manufactured. This thing, articulation-wise, does have most of the points that I'm sure a lot of us are looking for. As far as the cape goes, though, well, the posability of that thing is kind of like a tablecloth. It hangs there, but you can't really do a lot with it. You can't really make the cape look like it's flapping out behind him or whatever. The wires in the cape are simply not strong enough. Can you put in new wires? Absolutely. It just does kind of stink a little to take it out of the package, and you're a little disappointed with the strength of the wires that they used. Should have been a slightly thicker gauge wire. But overall, yeah, if you're on the fence about this guy, I would say he's definitely worth the pickup. As far as my 7-inch scale Batfleck figures go, this one is going to become my main one. This is it, right here. I've found my favorite Ben Affleck Batman action figure in this scale. Anyway, those are my thoughts, views, and opinions on the FondJoy Justice League Batman action figure. I'm sure you'll have your own. Leave them down in the comment section below, and I will see you with the next one, super friends. Have yourself a DC day, as always, and take care of yourself, and in these times, each other.